On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks, they're back. Preseason starts, and they've got some goals, some things that they absolutely have to accomplish in the preseason. I'll tell you what they are in today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
You are Locked On Mavs.
Great, Rusty.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Amazing.
Your team every day.
Still can't eat the open.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Back again. Thanks for being a part of the show. Make it Locked On Mavs your first listen today. Best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day on any podcast platform. Leave a 5-star review, like the video on YouTube, and comment anything below. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. And joining me, as always, my co-host, media member, the Fan Jam Jr., the One More Thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
Oh, Nick, did you jam with the fans today?
I jammed with him.
Fan Jam. Shout out to all the loyal listeners of the podcast at Fan Jam today.
So many. I think I gave out 50 stickers.
Stickers?
Yes. Several of you asked.
Are you allowed to do that, Nick?
Several asked if I had the other thing that people think that they look like, but I did give out stickers.
I had huge FOMO today, seeing all the coverage. I had really big FOMO when I got the PR email for the box score.
Oh, we were joking with Mavs Analytics about that. Guy walked by that runs Mavs Analytics, and Cato and I were like, we want plus minus. We want a heat map of all the shot charts. We want running offense and defensive rating.
I'm still looking for the blog. I didn't go out looking for it, but I want to know three takeaways from Fan Jam.
I got a couple takeaways, so we'll talk about Fan Jam, Mavs open practice a little bit, but we want to get into the Mavs preseason goals today because the Mavs' first preseason game is today. That means we're back. Recently we said we're going to say we're back a whole bunch of times this year.
Yep.
This is one of the times where we say that we are actually back. And let's start here. One of the first things I think the Mavericks need to do in preseason is to start working in some of these new guys. The Klay Thompsons of the world, obviously. Great reception for Klay Thompson today at Mavs Fan Jam. If you don't know what Mavs Fan Jam is, we keep talking about it, referencing it. It's just a Mavs intra-squad scrimmage. So half of the Mavs are on one side, half of them are on the other. They scrimmage each other. It's open to fans. It's free. It's this fun event where there's just like, Shippy's bumping the music. There's free stuff all over the place. They're throwing t-shirts. They're, giving away stuff. There's, it's like a sponsors event beforehand where they're giving out all these signed basketballs and there's, all this kind of stuff going on all the time. And it's super fun, and it's a really fun event. The Mavs in the warm-ups are throwing down these insane dunks, which was awesome. Like Quentin Grimes throwing it off the backboard, Lively's throwing, Gafford's throwing it off bouncing it off the ground real high and throwing it behind his back. It's just like nuts stuff, and that was super fun. But Fan Jam is just a really fun event where they scrimmage each other, and Klay Thompson did not participate. And some fans in the first half and in the second half started this really big, we want Klay. I posted the video on Instagram at Locked On Mavs, TikTok at Nick Van Exit, and on YouTube on the shorts.
God,
and
through all the socials.
You can just see, it's just an organic plug right there. Just
MySpace, if you want to go to that, my ICQ
follow
handle.
my Pinterest, my Zanga, go follow some of that. But I was right down the lane because I was able to sit on the scorers table, and I could see Klay Thompson down there, and he was appreciative of it. And you gotta love that the fans are already kind of embracing Klay Thompson, that they're already asking. He did not get up. He did not do the JJ Barea juke. He did not like fake get up and go in. He did not participate. Luka did not participate. Kyrie warmed up with the team and practiced in the practice they did before, but he did not play. PJ Washington didn't play. Dante Exum and Maxey didn't play for injury reasons. But Klay Thompson, integrating him, I think, is another one of the big things the Mavs have to do in the preseason.
He did an interview the other day. I think it was with the New York Times, in which he was talking about just how long it's going to take here at the beginning just to get acclimated to a new system, just with playing with new guys and everything on a basketball court. I mean, he's been in Golden State forever, and he was mainly talking about training camp and stuff. But it's going to take just a little bit, and I think this is the number one thing. I think if you're saying, hey, what's the number one thing for preseason? It's getting Klay Thompson acclimated to the Maverick system, because him more than, yes, we'll talk about Naji and Grimes, but Klay more than anybody. He's a starter. He's been in Golden State forever. He's played at this high level forever and played a certain role forever for this Golden State team. Now he comes to Dallas and he's going to play, off Kyrie and Luka. It doesn't, for a lot of us, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a hard role. Hit the threes, space the floor, and all that. But there's so much more to that. Terminology, all the stuff, working with the guys, the traits and tendencies of some of these guys on the floor. So it's going to take a little bit of time. I did one more thing over the weekend about Klay Thompson and fitting with Kyrie and Luka and big three stuff. But yes, that's the number one thing for the preseason, is getting Klay up to speed.
And it's not just Klay reacting off of Luka and Kyrie. Yes, that's going to be a big part of it. But Klay also did an interview recently where he talked about how his play can help the bigs, because he did have some good synergy with, Trace Jackson Davis and, Kevon Looney and some of the Warriors bigs, where he was hitting them off of some short rolls, and he was,
his pick and roll numbers are a little underrated. You wouldn't think so for a spot up shooter like that, but he can run the pick and roll a little bit.
He can do a little bit with the ball in his hands and can run some of that stuff. And the Mavs kind of want him to do a little bit of that stuff every once in a while. And so getting acclimated with those guys too, the synergy and the timing and the chemistry with Lively, with Gafford, with, whoever else is going to be in there and play with them. And I think that's something that's going to take some time. And it's nice to get some of that time in preseason and to work some of that out too. And maybe some of the rust. You mentioned Naji Marshall. I think integrating him may not be hard, but it is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see how he integrates, because if I'm going to take anything away from FanJam, the actual play of FanJam, and I'm not going to take too much.
Come on, give it to me.
I'm not taking too much away from it, but Naji Marshall looked really comfortable out there with the ball in his hands, finishing off the glass. There was one finish he had where he drove right in the lane, past the Mavs defender, got to the bucket, finished with like a wild off the glass finish. And Kyrie Irving, this is really fun, and probably the most fun thing about FanJam for me. Kyrie was coaching one team, Luka was coaching the other team, and Kyrie is standing right in front of me. Like, me and Tim Cato and Mike Curtis from Dallas Morning News were all standing right there behind him. And Gafford turns around and looks at Kyrie and was like, he can finish. He was all impressed by it, and we could hear their commentary like the whole time. And I just think Naji Marshall, integrating him, bringing him in, and seeing how they can use him. He can be used in a bunch of different ways. He can have the ball in his hands. He can spot up. He's going to be a defender that impacts all over the place. But just to figure out ways for Jason Kidd to use him, I can imagine them throwing him out in preseason, especially when Luka's not going to play the first game, right? He's not going to play in this game Monday night. Kyrie didn't play in FanJam. Maybe he doesn't play a lot in some of these preseason games. There's going to be time for them to try some other stuff and to try some other guys on the ball. And I think Naji is going to benefit from that.
Naji's a better playmaker, better ball handler. He's a better passer, all three of those things, than Dereck Jones Jr. And Dereck Jones Jr. plays above the rim, can guard probably point guards better than Naji, can probably slip through screens and over the top of screens better than Naji probably.
Naji's going to push through those screens though.
Yeah. But I'm just trying. I know there's going to be a lot of comparisons between those two guys, swapping out these two. They're more than this, but two wing defenders for the most part. But Naji, I think people who are just viewing Naji as just the tough-nosed defender. 3-and-D. I think they're going to be surprised by his playmaking ability. And this is one of those things, we've talked about this, for years. We've been doing this podcast for, feels like forever, that we've talked about the progression of the wing guys just being able to spot up versus them getting better at like taking off the dribble and then getting to the lane and be able to pass and play make and all of that. Naji's there. Naji's one of those wings that you want, like, especially in today's game, you want these wings to be able to do something like Naji can do. And you look at some of his assist numbers too, like some of these assist numbers, like they're pretty surprising because you just don't think of him as like this playmaker off the wing. And that's going to be a huge difference for them compared to like a Dereck Jones Jr., who felt like he only had like one move where he like pump fakes, get into the lane. He's just gonna jump with somebody and then try to draw a foul or just like
hope
kind
they
of
land before him.
Yeah, like just kind of like throw it up type of thing. Naji's gonna be able to pump fake, get into the paint, find the or like pull off a dribble move, get to the basket, or find the open guy. So that's gonna be a nice addition to the perimeter.
Yeah, that's something they need to integrate. They need to integrate Naji, they need to integrate Klay. I did see something from Quentin Grimes at FanJam I did like, and so we'll talk about him and then what other things the Mavs need to do in preseason. We'll talk about that and more coming up.
You don't believe you shouldn't be here.
Little Locked On Mavs brought to you by BetterHelp. Everyone has things in their life that you need to work through. Halloween, let's have some fun with what scares us. But what those fears don't involve, the fears that don't involve zombies and ghosts, you can work through those with BetterHelp. You can get that line really threw me. BetterHelp.
I thought you made that up.
We do no, we do. I was trying to be a company man. Go off of the script.
Come on,
here.
keep going. Don't smile.
Therapy is good for facing your fears and facing all kinds of different things. I go to therapy. I've used BetterHelp before, and what I like about it is it's entirely online. Convenient. I can schedule it at any different time. I don't have to do just like 2 p.m. on Wednesdays, right? Where you have to go in an office and you have to sit there and all that stuff. You can do it online. You can bring it with you. You can do 2 in a week or 1 in a week or 0, like 1 every other week or whatever like that. Go check it out. See what's available, what times are available to you. And you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. You got to love that. Overcome your fears with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. So many of you at FanDuel yelled Raccoon Squad at me, and I just find that so great because no one besides you that listen to the show know that is a thing or that it means anything. And I love that because everyone else is probably very confused.
So did FanDuel send a lot of people there to yell at you?
Did FanDuel?
You said FanDuel instead of FanJam. So many people at FanDuel yelled at me and said Raccoon Squad.
I went to the FanDuel headquarters and they're all yelling at me. No, dang it. FanJam. The FanDuel sounds like the Mavs put on an event where 2 fans have to go out and not do the Whataburger, like throw the fries into the bucket, but they have to fight with the 2 fries. Like the one
like fencing.
The one that gets knocked out loses. That's the end of the FanDuel. Anyway, thank you to everybody at FanJam who came up to me. It was great to meet every one of you. We're talking about Mavs preseason goals. One of the goals is to integrate their new guys. Talked about Klay, talked about Naji Marshall, Quentin Grimes. Seeing him up close in a semi-game speed situation, a scrimmage, inter-squad scrimmage. Quentin Grimes' 3-point shot is quick. He gets that shot up quick, and he jumps pretty high. His shot is pretty high with it, and I love to see some of the things that he was doing in that. I think he's going to have a pretty decent sized role. I've been big on Quentin Grimes all season because I think he's going to come back and defend in a way that the Mavs are really going to need. Naji and Quentin Grimes together, I think, are going to be really good wing defenders for the Mavs. Grimes is going to bring that consistent shooting that the Mavs are going to miss, leaving, or with Tim Hardaway Jr. leaving and Josh Green leaving. Like, I think that Quentin Grimes can fill in that spot really well. And I think it's going to be hard for Jason Kidd to not play him. And just seeing his 3-point shot up close today was another reminder of like, oh yeah, this guy's like a really consistent, really good shooter in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I know I did the comparison game with Naji and Derek Jones a little bit ago, but I'm just going to be comparing him to Josh for a while. Just what he brings different than Josh, and how will it affect this rotation more. Maybe be a different type of, a more trusted shooter out there. One of the things we talked to him about on Media Day, which if you haven't, we're already starting it.
Let's go. We talked to him on Media Day. Oh, we're back.
We're back.
Shout out if you remember the Jalen Brunson. He said to us on Media Day.
So we talked to JB on Media Day.
That took me back.
If you haven't watched the interview with Quentin Grimes on Media Day, it's on YouTube. But we asked him about being at that 3-and-D label. And he was, so adamant. He's like, hey, these coaches know I'm so much more than that.
Yeah.
And I one of my favorite things that he said was just his excitement about being somewhere that he knows he's wanted. And how, he's like, I know Nico and these guys have been going after me for a couple years. They want me here. They believe in him. So that tells you right there that they don't see him as just this like random, filler in a trade. and that they were just trying to just dump off Tim Hardaway's money, which Tim looked good tonight in that preseason game. So for Quentin to come to Dallas, they want him here.
Did not. Just for anybody that didn't pick that up on that one.
And I'm excited to see him come off the bench. I think the one thing I'm confident is 3-point shot. I think the one thing I'm the most curious to see is how good of a point of attack defender he is.
Yes,
that's something I want to. Where obviously I haven't been watching, Quentin Grimes every single game of his career. I want to see just how good he is at doing that.
Yeah, that's gonna be big,
especially with Dante Exum going to be out for a little bit.
Yeah, Exum was there. He was, around, but he was not participating because he's going to have wrist surgery. Well, we sent that, note and all our thoughts to everybody that subscribed to Locked On Mavs Insiders. So click the link or text the number if you want to be involved in that. But yeah, with Dante Exum out, it's Spencer Dinwiddie up. And then I think Jaden Hardy, obviously next man up, because Kid had Dante penciled in as that second string starter or second string point guard, which I thought was kind of interesting. He said that in an interview recently. Quentin Grimes is also going to get some ball handling opportunities. Naji Marshall getting some ball handling opportunities. And then obviously with Luka out for a game, I mean, there's going to be some of that in preseason as well. So we could see Grimes with some secondary playmaking. He's not going to be the one to bring the ball up, start plays and all that. But the secondary ball handling we talked about, Naji, applies to Quentin Grimes too.
Yeah, and this goes without saying. I say the number one goal coming out of preseason is Klay getting acclimated, but the cop-out answer is come out of the preseason healthy. I
have that last. Yeah.
You don't want to read into it too much, but if we're going from the moment the finals end until now, we've had a broken hand by Kyrie, we have a calf injury by Luka. We have a broken wrist by Dante Exum.
Maxey is out for some reason that they haven't announced yet.
Well, Maxey and Kessler Edwards, sprained ankles, camp there.
PJ Washington didn't participate in Fan Jam. I don't know why.
There's a lot of players who didn't participate.
Klay didn't, but
God Shamgod was out there playing. All right, so
God Shamgod was out there. It was one of my favorite parts of the whole Fan Jam was God Shamgod gets out there and he lines up against I think it was Emmanuel Miller, and he doesn't hit him with the Shamgod. He just passes the ball out and then goes and sits back down on the bench. And Tyson Chandler, I posted the video on Twitter. You can see Tyson Chandler mime the Shamgod move and why didn't you hit him with your move? You had one chance.
Come on. That's the most expected thing ever. If somebody has one move that they're famous for and you're going to defend somebody out there, you're I'm going to defend your move.
But it's for the fans, Isaac. That's what the whole thing is for. We wanted to see it. I wanted to see it. Tyson, as a fan, wanted to see it. Also, Tyson in that clip where Mavs fans are chanting "We want Klay." He's clapping along with them and fist pumping, and he's sitting 2 people down from Klay. It was very funny to me. I love that.
I love Tyson.
Tyson's so great.
So anyway, just come out of preseason healthy. All right. I don't like some of the stuff already. I don't want to be talking about health stuff. We need a healthy Mavs team. If Luka has to set out multiple games in the preseason, send him to Croatia. All right. That's fine. Let's just get a healthy team.
We talk about Croatia sometimes it's a magical healing land. We just sent Luka.
Players love going there. I want to go there one day.
Yeah.
Somebody take me to Croatia.
With Luka though, it's a calf contusion. He got hit in the calf. It's not like it was a calf strain or something like that he had been dealing with before. Kyrie, broken hand, same kind of thing. It's not like it, was
injuries, Nick. Injury. I don't like that.
I'm just lowering the concern level because I know there are some Mavs fans that get real concerned about injuries and is my life about to is my mood about to be completely altered by this team not being healthy and available? Because I remember December. Do you remember December?
I remember BetterHelp ad that you should give them again if their whole life is altered by Mavs injuries.
Hey, that's why we're here every day for you, to help you. Some people say that I need Locked On Mavs to help me get through when Mavs lose games. Hey, that's what we're here for. We're right here for you. We're still here for you. Coming up, let's talk about the other things the Mavs need to accomplish in preseason.
Yeah. We got another player to talk about, baby.
Specifically with a player that had a double-double in the Fan Jam today, Dereck Lively. Talk about him. Come on.
I don't believe you shouldn't be here.
Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Fan Jam.
Wow.
FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds you can use to get in on the action. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return. America's #1 sportsbook, like America's team. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check the latest stats, view live play-by-play, all kinds of stuff like that on the exact same page. You can also check out NBA odds. I was looking at this earlier, and if you look at their NBA season awards, somebody had posted the Coach of the Year awards, and JJ Redick has higher odds to win Coach of the Year than Jason Kidd. JJ Redick plus 2,500, Kidd plus 3,000.
Young Phil Jackson there.
You got thoughts on that one?
I have plenty of thoughts.
Rick Carlisle plus 3,000, Jason Kidd plus 3,000. Thought that was interesting too. Rick Carlisle doesn't really have good odds to win Coach of the Year. So if you have thoughts on that, or you want to do some other stuff, put $5 down. If it's your first $5, you get $200 in bonus bets. Visit FanDuel.com to see all that. Again, it's FanDuel.com.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is, huh? Anybody? Kayla, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Champ.
What day is it, champ? It's game day. All right, Slightly. Damn it.
Whoa! I'm leaving. I don't wear glasses. I don't have a green screen. I don't have big text behind me.
That is amazing that I just did that.
Luka does not have me blocked.
Slightly will be on tomorrow when we do the preseason post game, so you will get to hear from Slightly then.
Yeah.
Dang. All those years of saying, all right, Isaac. You were not even here, and I was saying, all right, Isaac. And I said, all right, Slightly. All right, Isaac, Slightly. Let's get into the Mavs preseason goals. I have a preseason goal for Dereck Lively, and it's let Lively cook. Just let him do stuff. He took a corner 3 at Fan Jam today. Oh my gosh.
FanJuel? Dude, yeah. You gotta calm down. Did you
finish this segment for me?
How many jewels do you get?
I need to hold on.
So we want to let Dereck Lively
I'm gonna lower down in the screen. I'm gonna take a back seat, like a physical back seat right now.
All right, I don't want him running the offense, but if he wants to take
you don't want me running your offense either.
I don't know what's going on right now. If he wants to take 1,000,000 threes, that's fine with me. Go for it.
You're good with that in preseason? How many legitimately? What if he takes 5 a game?
Why would we care? I don't care how many he takes.
Because they do have other things. They need to integrate some of those other guys, kind of. I mean, the preseason, you can't just completely brush off.
We're not running pin downs for him to take threes as a joke. I'm just saying if the ball swings around and he has the ball on the perimeter and he's halfway open, take it.
I don't know why. I imagine PJ setting a down screen, a down screen pin down for Lively, and Lively running up like Tim Hardaway Jr. did, and taking a top of the break 3. That would be amazing to me.
I'm picturing him running underneath the basket like he was trying to avoid the foul.
Yeah, he was running away from Chet in the Thunder
so
series.
He can get to the corner and try to take a corner 3. Guys, we got to talk about freaking Omax.
FanDuel. No, okay.
You got to let Omax cook in the preseason. This is, I think, legitimately one of you already know exactly what you have in a Dereck Lively. Omax, I want him getting a ton of minutes. I want them to test out some of this summer stuff that he's gotten better at. He's talked about, he was hurt. He talked to us about it at media day, reminding everybody again that he was hurt at the end of last season, for over a couple of months. And then he got to play in the summer league and stuff. And, it was a little rough early on at the summer league, but the final 2 games he played in Vegas, I thought were really promising. And I'm always going to be in his camp. I'm going to be in his corner. So I want to see some of it. I want to see, what he's got. Does he look different in the preseason compared to back last season?
If all these players play, I would like to see Omax guard Desmond Bane for the Grizzlies when they play the Grizzlies. Lauri Markkanen for the Jazz, right?
Yeah.
James Harden for the Clippers.
Yeah.
And Damian Lillard for the Bucks. I'd like to just see it. Give him some possessions. Try it.
Yeah, try it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's in front of him in the preseason. Sure. Yeah. Put him on Giannis.
I mean, one of the things he talked about to us was how physical everything was last year and how, he
got stronger.
Yeah. And how he got stronger and stuff this offseason. It would be kind of cool. him to try to take some possessions on Giannis and kind of like hold his ground a little bit.
Yeah. With Omax on offense, do you just want to see the spot up three? Do you want to see any kind of take the ball, get into the post, get fouled? Because that's some of the stuff we saw last year from him. Do you want to see any of that, or you just want him to focus on the spot up threes?
I mean, spot up threes the most. I don't really need to see Omax ISOs right now. Just show us a consistent jumper. Show us a consistent form and everything.
The weird thing about that, though, is some of the ISO type stuff where it's not an isolation, but it's a catch the ball, attack a closeout where he drives into the paint. That's the stuff where he got to the free throw line. That was some of his most effective offense last season.
Okay.
In the NBA.
Yes.
Dudley thinks he's a young Siakam, so if he's going to do that, he's got to have the ball in his hands a little.
Hey, get that spin move down, bro. All right, is there anything with Jaden Hardy that you're looking forward to, or do we kind of just know who Jaden Hardy is at this point?
No, I got him written on the rundown because I want Jaden Hardy to cook a little bit too. Like give him a chance. Jason Kidd said Hardy has been patiently waiting. He's going to get an opportunity. He's going to get an opportunity. What
has he had the past few years?
Give
him a chance? Like he hasn't. You act like he's been buried and he hasn't played at all.
All right. He played 48 games on a team that was sinking last season, like 2 seasons ago, and missed the postseason. And he got a chance there, and he showed a lot. Then last year, he played on a team that, guys got traded. Then all of a sudden, they were in a run for the finals and a playoff team fighting for he has not had a chance on a team that.
He got a chance in the playoffs.
He did, and he showed some stuff. So, I mean, a chance again. Yeah. Show me some more. Show me that you can do it consistently, I guess. That's his chance. Yeah. The chance can you show it consistently? Can you show off?
Give him a 5th and 6th chance.
We talked to him at Media Day, and one of the things he said was at Media Day was his decision-making. And I did a whole episode on Jaden Hardy this summer where I talked about that's the big thing standing in his way, is a huge improvement in decision-making. That will take him from a player that needs to get a chance to a player that you can't keep off the floor.
Yeah. Let him cook.
Ready. Let him cook. Now, anybody else you want to see in preseason?
I don't know the health stuff of Kessler Edwards.
He's been out for a couple of things. That's been a little concerning, but
yeah, I was just a little intrigued by him when they signed him. He was always one of those guys, those fringe 2-way end of the roster guys that I always kind of liked. And just want to see him get a chance, I
think it's funny that giving a 22-year-old player in his he played a year and a half in the NBA, he doesn't deserve a chance.
No, listen, we've talked about Jaden Hardy on this podcast.
Can't get a chance. Well, also we didn't think Jaden Hardy was going to get minutes when Dante was healthy.
Jaden Hardy got drafted. I went to the Mavs for a year and wasn't on this podcast for a year, and now I'm back, and Jaden Hardy's still here, and you're saying give him a chance.
Hey, don't make me bring up the live stream.
We can't.
We can't. I'm not allowed to, but don't make me bring it up.
No. I love Jaden Hardy as a person, and I'm not it's just we've Jaden Hardy's had chances. He's had summer league chances to run the show and be a point guard, and it's
one.
So, yeah, I just kind of on the pecking order of hey, I want to give this guy a chance. He's just down a little bit. There's some other guys out there that
I'm still in Jaden Hardy's camp, and I still because.
When he joined the Mavs, we were throwing out names like Tyler Hero, Jordan Poole,
Simons, Maxey. Yeah,
Jordan Clarkson. Do you think he's still on that path?
No, he's not on the same trajectory because those guys. Well, to be fair, those guys made a leap. They got their chances. They actually got more chances than Hardy. They were playing 20 minutes a game their second year because all their teams sucked except for Heroes, and they got 20 minutes a game. They got consistent playing time, and then their 22-year-old season, all of them took a leap. All of them took a leap from wherever they were as an okay starter.
This is the leap year.
So it could be. I mean, this could be his leap year. It is a leap year. It's 2024. But with Hardy, specifically with him, the reason why I still want to give him a chance and think that is still an applicable thing to say about him. He was a 19-year-old player in the G League Ignite. Isaac, what is the G League Ignite doing this season?
Nothing at all.
Nothing. They folded. Yeah. So he was in this experimental developmental league. He played a year there, didn't go to college, and went straight out of high school there. Got a bad run there, which is why he went in the second round, because he didn't have a good organization to play for there, because now it's defunct. Then he goes to the Mavericks. He plays in the G League, plays really well in the G League. Then he goes on this sinking Mavs team, and then he goes on a team that goes to the NBA Finals and got an opportunity in the Western Conference Finals and the Finals to play and stepped up. Like, I think that's a guy that needs a little bit more chance. He's been developing with Kyrie. We talked to him at Media Day. He told us that Kyrie has been big in his development, and I think that giving Jaden Hardy more of a chance in preseason is something they need to do.
So do you think he's like the 10th man?
With Exum out, with Exum and Maxey out, he's probably not.
No.
They're both out.
You just ran an incredible PR campaign for the last 20 seconds, and now you're saying, all right, well, with these injuries, he's probably 9th man.
No, but that's the whole reason why they need to give him a chance, is because he's way down in the pecking order right now, because this team is the deepest team we've seen since 2011.
I also love how you blame the entire G League Ignite
Yes,
system for
they're defunct. It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. If you went to a university and you got a degree from that university, and then 2 years later that university didn't exist anymore, would you, like, people would be like, man, where'd you get your education? You're not very smart. Like, oh, my university doesn't exist anymore. Wouldn't that make you feel some kind of way?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wouldn't that make you think, like, rethink everything you learned there?
No, I mean, it depends on what the situation was.
Your university doesn't exist anymore.
If it came out like, hey, the professors were not vetted at all. Or
your university turned into a college, and then a community college, and then it was defunct and doesn't exist anymore.
And then they had a football team that showed up on ESPN to play somebody. Give
Jaden Hardy a chance. I'm here for it.
Give him a chance, man. Give him that 6th or 7th chance.
This is year 3. This is year 2.5 for him. He played a half year his first year. Let us know in the comment section on YouTube and on Spotify what you think about the preseason, what kind of goals you want the Mavericks to accomplish in preseason. You can subscribe to this show, listen everywhere on podcasts. You can listen on YouTube as well. We should be on linear TV sometime soon too. Watch out for that. So there you go, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom. Back tomorrow with Slightly Biased for the Mavs post game.
That's not me.